torchlight flickered across the marble halls of Rome, the empire whispered of treachery, and every oath was tested by fire. From the heart of Nero's court, where loyalty could mean salvation or ruin, Praetorian guard Traian Aelius Propacius steps forward. Today, he joins us to speak of duty, conscience, and the cost of guarding a man history would never forgive. Traian, thank you for joining us. For readers unfamiliar with your role, how would you describe your duty in Nero's Rome?
I was first sworn to guard a child, not an emperor, a boy barely past his second year, spirited and curious, who bore the name Lucius. His mother had been sent into exile, and in her absence, I became his shield. My duty then was simple: to keep him safe from harm, to guide his steps, to be the steady presence he could trust. Yet, even in those tender years, I understood I was protecting more than a child's body. I was guarding the promise of what he might become. Later, when Rome began to call him Nero, my oath remained unchanged. To me, he was always Lucius, the boy I once carried on my shoulders, the boy who dreamed of justice before the world taught him fear.
Many saw Nero as a tyrant. From your vantage point, what kind of man was he?
He was both boy and emperor, burdened with a crown too heavy for his years. There were moments when he longed to rule with mercy, to be remembered as more than his bloodline's curse. But Rome was merciless. The Senate whispered, the people demanded spectacle, and cruelty became the coin of survival. I saw him hesitate at the edge of mercy, and I saw him push past it.
The Great Fire of Rome remains one of the most infamous events of his reign. From what you learned, how did it change him?
I was not in Rome when the fire began. When I finally found him, he told me what had happened. He had been at his estates outside the city, and when word reached him, he rode into Rome. He opened his gardens to the homeless, ordered supplies, and tried to fight the flames. For a time, he was the Lucius I remembered, desperate to help, desperate to be loved by his people. But when the whispers began, when the blame turned toward him, everything shifted. To protect himself, he struck back. That was when the Christians became his scapegoats. It was not mercy or cruelty that guided him then, but fear.
Do you believe he wanted to be a good ruler?
Yes, in his heart, he wanted to be loved, to be remembered as more than his bloodline's shadow. But Rome is not kind to dreamers. Every step he took toward mercy was met with suspicion. Every attempt at justice twisted into weakness. In the end, he became what Rome demanded and what Rome feared.
The palace halls were rife with treachery. How did you endure such a world?
With silence, vigilance, and with the knowledge that every ally might one day be an enemy. Even among the guard, trust was fragile. I stood between Lucius and conspirators cloaked as friends. But the greater battle was within myself. How long could loyalty endure when it began to feel like complicity?
History judged Nero harshly. Do you believe he deserved forgiveness?
Forgiveness was not mine to grant. I can only say this: he was not the monster the poets would write about, nor the saint he once dreamed of being. He was a man caught between fear and destiny. Perhaps that was the tragedy of Rome, that even emperors were prisoners of the crown they wore.
And what of you, Traian? What future did you see for yourself beyond Nero's shadow?
When I was discharged, I found myself standing at a crossroads. I had given my years to Rome, my loyalty to Lucius, and in return, I carried scars no one could see. What comes next is not glory nor triumph. It is simply the search for peace, a life lived quietly, away from marble halls and whispered conspiracies. Whether I will ever find it, only the gods know.
Do you have anything to add before we wrap up?
Be careful how you judge the past. History is written by those who survived it, and in Nero's case, by men who came long after his death, men who had never seen him, who shaped him into villain or monster to serve their own ends. All documents are hearsay, colored by fear, politics, or faith. If Rome teaches us anything, it is that truth is fragile, and if we are not wary, history will repeat itself.